One Piece is about to go on a generational run. Manga fans are feasting. The live action is returning. The animation for Egghead has been ridiculous. Pacing still sucks, but that's okay. We have to be grateful for the things we have. There's fans who are still praying for their manga to get adapted or even a second season of their favorite anime. But we're out here being greedy with this buffet of entertainment right in front of us. On a real note, I just want to speak about everything that's been going on with these individual medias because it's rare to see an author to be able to have his series produced in so many different forms and go 3 for 3 with them.
Type shit.
First, the One Piece anime. Obvious spoiler warning for anyone that's not caught up to the anime, but holy shit. What deal has been happening under the table for such consistent level of peak animation over and over? We all know that One Piece has been getting cooked ever since time skip for the quote-unquote bad animation, which personally I never saw until people pointed it out. But ever since we reached Wano, the animation / art style changed drastically. It looked like a huge turning point for the fans, especially since the raid of Onigashima started. That's when we started seeing impact frames, flashy fights, hand-to-hand choreography, etc. So naturally, once Wano concluded, everyone thought we'd go back to the old animation.
Sequences I have ever seen is One Piece is season.
This shit means something to me, man.
I remember when they first hit us with the animation style change for Egghead, everyone was skeptical at first, and then the jaw-dropping episodes just kept coming in. Law versus Blackbeard, Shanks versus Kid, Luffy versus Lucci. The most recent episode of Garp and his Galaxy Impact was so incredible, I couldn't even use words to describe what I just watched. Each fight had a significant moment during them. Shanks versus Kid. Reading it was one thing because everyone was excited to see Shanks again so soon, especially after watching him destroy Kid in merely a few pages. But watching it, my goodness. This was the first time I looked at Shanks and thought, oh yeah, this guy could definitely be a sick villain. Yes, he was protecting his fleet, so it makes sense why he fought back, but it was just certain scenes they adapted that made him look so menacing. Plus, the animation was just beautiful. I'm happy Toei knows when and where to put extra effort into adapting this manga because it makes hype moments like this all so sweet. I've been saying Kid was a fraud. Even during the Law and Kid versus Big Mom fight, he was getting carried badly by Law. Speaking of Law, Oda, you are on thin ice for putting my guy up against the entire Blackbeard crew. I was watching this purely for the fight and no other reason. But seriously, this was also action-packed. Law was taking on everyone basically by himself. His crew was supporting him, but he was holding his own for quite a bit. Toei was making the extra fights juicy by adding impact frames and giving us more to the fight than we were reading in the manga. Unfortunately, off-screen Beard used his Yami Yami no Mi, and the next thing you know, Law was out cold. I understand why Oda always off-screens Blackbeard's fights, because he wants to keep his Devil Fruit a secret, but come on man, we need a bit more. Law took this man to mid-diff and we barely got to see it. Thankfully, Chopper blessed Beppa with some senzu beans that allowed him to use Sulong, so that we could avoid the Kid treatment. But still, disgusting work from you, Oda, to do this to Law of all people. I never want to see that shit again. Now, Luffy versus Lucci. This fight was purely just fan service for Battle Shonen fans. I remember them fighting in the manga, but I didn't remember this toe-to-toe, bouncing around, hitting new moves and techniques type fight though. I understand Lucci's having round 2 with Luffy since, you know, they last fought in Enies Lobby, but holy, this guy came back with an awakened Devil Fruit and thought he could rival Gear 5? Toei did a good job making it entertaining though, but be for real, Lucci, try your luck against Smoker before you try to mess with Luffy. And now the most recent episode, Garp plus the Marines going to save Kobe from the Blackbeard pirates. Now, I have a bone to pick with you Toei for this because instead of finishing up the conflict, they decided to jump ahead to the next plotline and then return back to this, leaving a bit more suspense for what's to happen next. Which would be effective if they didn't drop a 10 out of 10 episode just to leave us hanging for weeks. What the frick, Toei? I just watched Garp casually level part of an island without even making contact in the most majestic way possible, and now I gotta watch Sabo? I mean, what's coming up with Sabo is also equally important and hype, but they got me invested in Garp, man, so no hate. But Aokiji versus Garp? Come on, I'm a shonen fan. I'm trying to feast my eyes on this fight. Aokiji was hitting some ballerina flips while Garp was slowly but surely approaching him. Mind you, old Garp is making this fight look easy. Imagine prime Garp. He runs up to Aokiji, grabs him in the face, and throws him to the ground just for them to transition it? No! It's okay. I know once it finishes getting adapted, y'all will understand why I'm excited for this, but for now, I'll just mope in silence. But yes, the live action One Piece got announced for a season 2, and it's currently in production and almost finished. The story will cover Loguetown, Reverse Mountain, Whiskey Peak, Little Garden, and Drum Island, which means we will be introduced to Miss Sunday, aka Nico Robin, and Tony Chopper. They announced a lot of the casting members for specific roles. I'll put them up on the screen if you guys want to pause and take a look at them. But I want to focus more on the casting over here. Both the doctors have spot-on casts, and I'm not familiar with any of these actors if I'm being honest, but that's because I really don't watch a lot of movies and shows. But I was shocked to see South Asian actors for King Cobra and Vivi. I always picture them more as Arab, but maybe that was just me, I don't know. The way Oda drew the king especially gave me heavy Arab dad vibes. Knowing how busy Oda is, I'm sure he didn't pick these casts himself, but there must have been some process where he approved it. So I can't really complain if the GOAT himself chose these guys. Another thing that's kind of funny is they've already selected the actors for Bartholomew, who isn't even showing up for another 15 plus arcs all the way in Dressrosa. But they haven't announced Nico Robin, Chopper, Crocodile, or even Ace. If they gatekeep actors like this, they better have selected some W role players, or else all the suspense is gonna backfire on Netflix, especially if they fumble the bag. We don't need another Cowboy Bebop situation. And finally, the manga. Spoiler warning for anyone not caught up to the manga, skip to this timestamp if you don't want to get spoiled. Well, Egghead has finally concluded after 66 chapters. At first, I expected this arc to be a transition arc like Zoo, but after reading 66 chapters, this was nothing any of us could have imagined. I think all types of One Piece fans got their fill during this arc. Whether it's fights, story, plot twists, fun characters, it really had everything. I think my favorite part of this arc was Vegapunk's speech about the Void Century and the truth behind it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joy Boy was the first ever pirate, fought a war against the 5 elders in Emu 900 years ago while using the 3 ancient weapons and lost. And because of this, almost an entire continent sunk 200 meters underground. And every time there's a massive earthquake, that means the ocean will slowly begin to rise 200 meters. The earthquake isn't natural, but man-made, which just happened in the story, which means the water is rising as we speak. Another twist was that Roger's entire crew had discovered this once they reached Laugh Tale and kept it from the world too. But Vegapunk says the fate of the world now rests in the hands of the one who finds the One Piece, which now gives us more clues towards what the One Piece could really be. I'm not a theorist, so I'm still clueless as to what it could be, but now I'm certain it will be something good. Not only that, Oda loves blueballing us. Right as Vegapunk was about to leak the truth of Will of D, of course the transmission starts fizzing, but Oda did leave us with this, who bears the name of D, Ace, Luffy, Garp. Within you there is blank. Now, I feel like this was already implied that everyone with the letter D in their name must have been like the child of prophecy or a race that was once extinct. But I feel like he was going to say, within you lies the blood of Joy Boy, which means they're descendants of him, which could be a stretch, but that's the first thing that came to my mind when reading. Then again, Oda is hard to predict, so we'll see where he takes us later on. Plus, now the question is, what the heck will they be doing on Albath? Will it be a training arc? Will they run into a mysterious foe? Is this gonna be the real transition arc? Will Arouge finally get screen time? I've always enjoyed One Piece for the journey, but what truly makes me intrigued is the mystery of the world of One Piece. and the way Oda manages to surprise me every time reminds me over and over why I love this series so much. Anyway, if you guys made it to the end of the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with future content. Oda is really going to go on a generational run with this series, so be sure to comment down below and let me know your thoughts on all of this. Trust me, we are a small channel. I read all of the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.